Well, joining us live now, one of my favourite guests actually here in the city of London, Tessa Dunlop, the royal author, also got a book out at the moment, Elizabeth and Philip. It's in all good bookstores. You can go and check it out. Good to see you, Tessa. Thank you so much. So, an observation first of all, right? And I don't know whether it's a public holiday or not. Maybe it's still a few more days until the coronation. It feels a bit flat in town at the moment. Are people as into it as it seems they might have been? No. Because there was YouGov polling that suggested that more people perhaps won't celebrate the coronation or won't even watch it. I mean,
I think,
will they come around or not? What's the deal?
We've got to own it, Pete. We've had a glut of royal events, and not just in the last year, but of course in the last year we had the Platinum Jubilee and we had the Queen's storming great funeral. I mean, talk about a send-off. How do you repeat anything like that?
Yeah.
But even before then, because the Queen lived so long, we had a golden, we had a diamond. So in the last sort of living memory of everyone, we seem to be this kind of repeated big moments, and I think we managed them for Her Majesty because she was exceptional. Her reign was exceptional. This one, there is a wistfulness. It's not just about King Charles. I think most people can rub along with the idea of him by now, but it's also about Britain. The late Queen masked a bit of slippage on the global stage there, and I think we have to own we've not had a great winter. We've got a cost of living crisis, we've got the ugly knot that is Brexit, and there's a lot more tinsel and tiaras, and that takes a bit of getting your head around in the current climate.
Right, so there's a bit of fatigue when it comes to the royals.
Yeah.
Even still from the funeral, from the Queen's funeral, or are people just not really into Charles?
I think it's hard to separate where there is, it's bittersweet, isn't it? This isn't quite what any of us wanted. I'm a kid from the 70s, 80s. You know, we bought into the Diana dream. This isn't quite where we hoped to end up. Let's own it. Our tabloid press worked really hard to give Camilla a reboot. And okay, we can rub along with Camilla, we'll make do with Charles, but they're a caretaker team, and even when you dig down and go to the next in line, William, he's a regular kind of bloke, but he's quite hard to get excited about. Now, maybe that's a good thing, Pete. Maybe we need to just bring the volume down on the royal family. It's way too dominant, it's got ridiculous, it's become a crazy soap opera. But even on that front, you know, if we'd waited maybe 6 months, and I know why we didn't because Charles is old, but if we waited 6 months to let the Harry and Meghan narrative cool down a little bit, and also move away from that funeral, give it a year, I feel this maybe is 6 months premature.
Would it come back around? People might come back around. I mean, look, there's still going to be a big turnout on the weekend. There's no doubt about that. It's a big occasion. It's happy. People have their quiches, and you know they'll have their pims and what have you. You know, but like there'll be a big turnout. But I just felt like it was a little flat since we've arrived. But anyway, you've provided an answer for that, and maybe another 6 months might have worked and allowed people to come back around again.
But it is what it is, and you're right, we will get behind it. It was Piers Morgan, I don't know if you guys have heard of him over where you are.
He's in our stable.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
He said last week, you know, the royal family is all we've got. We're feeling a bit battered. The British brand's battered. And if we have to get in behind this event, watch us do that.
Yeah.
I, though, wish we made more of having this extraordinary relationship with countries like yours.
Well, we're flirting with the idea of leaving you again.
I know, but I think we should be flirting harder to keep you with us.
Well, I mean, on that point, does the monarchy survive long term?
It's skating on thinner and thinner ice. I think we have to own it's taken a massive knock with the old Hazard and Meg. It doesn't matter if you think they're a ridiculous pair. The point is, loads of young people, diverse Britain and beyond Britain's shores bought into them. They were like, hey, the monarchy's changing. No, guys, it's not. It's just Harry's fallen in love with a young, beautiful woman of colour from America. And guess what? The fairy tale we know comes crashing down. So those kids who bought into monarchy suddenly are burnt by monarchy. They're like, it doesn't represent us. So previously, youthful apathy, what was youthful apathy, is now a bit of antagonism. There's sort of grit in the oyster there. 38% wanting a different system. That's the first time we've had polling like that. But can I just go back to Australia? Because what I don't get is, say, for example, there's always new music. Coronation is a big musical bonanza.
Yeah.
Why don't we have an Australian composer? We've got 12 British composers. That to me is a ball drop. You know, I keep on calling him Prince Charles. King Charles.
No, I'm still doing that too. Yeah.
King Charles is honorary page boys.
Yeah.
Why are they all little white English boys? He's had 74 years to work out you know, who he's going to have. I mean, obviously, kiddies
Yeah.
today wouldn't be alive then. But I just wish sometimes in that intimate planning, and I know we're going to get the procession of the realms, we'll get the flags, we'll
Yeah.
get the Governor Generals, but I wanted it to just penetrate a
Right.
little bit deeper.
What about a nod to the future, though? I mean, there's a new photo of Charlotte that's out this morning. It's her 8th birthday today, a photograph that was taken by Kate.
Yeah.
You know, the future there, is that enough? You know, when William's king, will that change things?
I think, and just the way you've asked that question with a bit of a nonchalant shrug, I saw it in you, Pete. How are you going to vote in the next referendum, eh?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I think it might be a tight one next weekend, the next referendum. But anyway, yeah.
But let's go back to Charlotte. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure she'll come on a tour of Australia. She'll be one of the assets in the next sort of 10,
Yeah.
15 years, if you're still with us. By the way, Charles is off to see you, I think, next year.
Yeah, next year.
It's not easy for him. He's going to be 75. This
Yeah.
is a lot to ask of a seriously old man. So I think we need to cut him some slack, and that's why you've got these kids. Because remember, the Harry and Meghan loss is felt keenly. It's just William and Kate and their children. That's a lot of pressure. I know you've got Anne and the Wessexes, but they're not big money drivers. They're not clickbait material. So there is a sort of thinness to the narrative if you dig down. But is that such a bad thing? The way in which our royal family, really from the 90s onwards, has hogged the global tabloid headlines. It's not healthy, and I don't think it's sustainable.
Okay. Tessa Dunlop, good to see you. Thanks for
You
your
too.
time as always.